PFL is back. Good morning. This is Kiko Sports Show. My name is Favor Oloruntola. F to the E to the I to the V to the A. Favor with the flavor. Let's kick off with NBA. Now to the NBA. The LA Lakers, that's the Los Angeles Lakers, plan to help LeBron James extend his unprecedented prime into the 21st season of an illustrious career involving adding talent around him, not so much cutting his minutes. Lakers coach Darwin Ham reviewed this on Thursday at a news conference. Our Lakers star LeBron James has been preparing ahead of the start of the LA Lakers training camp next week. This is what he said.
That was one word: preparation. It's staggering for a player that has 20 years, under the hood already, and is preparing for 21 like he's a rookie. I think he's been doing, 6 a.m. workouts. Probably been in our building as much as any player this offseason. Been in the weight room as much as any player. I think every team LeBron's played for, it's pretty uniform that his work sets the tone, and there has been nothing but an increase in seeing that here. So to me, it's let's be about it. Let's not talk about it. And he's definitely been about it this offseason, and I think that really puts kind of the spirit in our entire group to see him preparing that detailed and working that hard.
LeBron James has become a rookie, preparing like a rookie. The very own LeBron James has become a rookie. Well, LeBron James will turn 39 in December, and so far he has averaged 35.5 minutes per game last season, with a tick down from the 37.2 minutes per game he logged in 2021 and 2022, but it was still more than he played in any of the first 3 seasons with the Lakers. Let's look at the statistics concerning James and how impactful he still is with the Lakers side. Well, he's been averaging 28.9 points on 50% shooting and 8.3 rebounds and 6.8 assists, but a torn tendon in his right foot caused him to miss 27 games. Well, there might be noticeable drops in James's overall game since he signed with the Lakers, but his body has betrayed him at times. So that is why they are building a team around him to support and help him, be the best LeBron James that we can have for the season coming up. Well, now let's talk about Formula One this morning, as the Formula One rival team Beater claims Andretti has given FIA green light. Rodin Cars, a New Zealand-based manufacturer which earlier this year became the majority owner of a British racing team Carlin, has claimed Andretti's application to join Formula One grid is the only one to have been given the green light by the FIA, as they confirmed their own attempt to be an 11th team that had been rejected. Earlier this year, the FIA invited prospective entrants to apply for a place from the 2025, 2026 or 2027 seasons with American outfit Andretti, whose bid is being backed by General Motors and its Cadillac brand. So the FIA has not commented on the state of application process or the time frame for which a decision announcement will be made, but there is no guarantee that any bid will ultimately be successful, with Formula One also required to grant its own approval. Well, moving away from that, let's talk about boxing. Remember, you can join us live on Facebook at Solutions 939 FM. Solutions 939 FM. Drop your comments, share this video, and also, leave a like. A shout out to Arenaya on Facebook. And now to boxing. Caroline Du Bois says a job on Saturday is to show that she levels above Magila Rodriguez. Caroline Du Bois says she's ready to make a statement when she gets for the IBO World title on Saturday night, an important milestone on a mission to build a career that will go down as the greatest of all time. Well, she takes on Mexico's Magali Rodriguez for the lightweight belt in a toughest test to date. Also, with Du Bois' match and Rodriguez matches headlining, Vidal Riley says is excited to beat Nathan Quales and win the English title, but the ceiling for his boxing career is much higher because Quales, despite the fact that Quales has never been knocked out by an opponent professionally. Riley is looking to extend his round of knockouts to 5 and win the English Championship on a huge night of boxing, headlined by Caroline Du Bois and Magali Rodriguez IBO lightweight title bout this Saturday. Let's talk football. NPFL is back. We're back. We're ready, and we're ready to move because the March Day 1 fixtures has been drawn. At Lagos Salami Stadium, Ibadan, on the 30th of September by 4 p.m., Shooting Stars will be hosting Plateau United FC, and the game between Rangers International FC and Doma United will be held at Aqua City Stadium in Accra. Atlant FC will be hosting Lobby Stars at Dan Iam Stadium, Owerri, and right there at Umai, Abia Warriors will be taking on Niger Tornadoes. Bayelsa United and Aqua United will slug it out at Samson Siasia Stadium, and then the Sunshine Stars will be up against Kano Pillars at Akure. Well, at Katsina State, Katsina will host Aquara United, and Gombe United will be on the road in Lagos to play or face off debutant Sporting Lagos FC at the Mobolaji Johnson Arena in Lagos State. Well, Enyimba United or Enyimba International FC will be taking on Bendel Insurance at Enyimba Stadium, Bar, and at Port Harcourt, Rivers United will be hosting Remo Stars of Oladapo Okunubi that has become ex-Remo, but now Sporting Lagos is the new deal for Oladapo Okunubi right there. But Rivers United will be facing off Remo Stars at Port Harcourt. So, I want to cough a little. When I come back, I take more fixtures on football, and then after the commercial, I want to fix my love.
All right, go. bestie. Danny bro, eh. You don't want to find my trouble. Enter bathroom, fresh up. She na me you come through when your heartbreak, push and she heartbreak. Na me the bite in there for your mind thing. Enter bathroom, fresh up. I want to flex my love, and I want to carry my love away to a place she loves. I'm a man, and I want to carry my love away to a place she loves. By the end of the night, enter bathroom, fresh up.
Omo, our eye don't see way for this cash palava. As conductor dey shout.
As you enter, so enter with your change.
Market women go dey holla.
I beg, this somebody don't say, I no fit collect now.
Supermarket people go dey tell you say,
okay, we don't get change. I beg, use and take sweet now.
when you come see that better yama roasted fish wey don dey hungry you since you come.
I don't carry my wallet come out too.
See, life not supposed hard like this, so now you make all of us for Nigeria they pay for everything with Momo. Dial *671# or download the new Momo app. Make you follow enjoy this better life. Momo, better than cash.
Dynamic Pillars Montessori International Schools, Ibadan, the latest admirable, attractive, and acceptable Montessori schools in Ibadan City with global standard of teaching, unique learning aids, and world-class academic facilities in a serene environment. Wow! Few students in a class with all conveniences, parent and guidance. Dynamic Pillars is the best place where your dearest child can have the best educational legacy. The school has the best set of professional teachers with brilliant and effective educational activities such as Montessori skills, smart helping game clinic, vocabulary development, arts, crafts and design, diction and communication, French, music and game language mechanics, indoor and outdoor games, and lots more. Available classes are crèche, daycare, preschool, after school, primary and secondary school classes from JSS1. Entrance examination on request. Enroll your child now at Dynamic Pillars Montessori International Schools, New Garage Bus Stop, Akpata, or First Gate, Owode Estate, Akpata, Ibadan. Telephone 080-2342-1126. Dynamic Pillars Schools. Your child deserves the best.
One day, na so bag with plenty money just appear for inside one Olanrewaju compound. 2 seconds, everywhere burst.
Let me get a bag. May nobody see my brother.
Hey.
Let me face him. We cannot see you near
You say waiting, as the landlord of this yard show, me be the rightful owner of that
Hey,
bag.
Oga landlord, what could not find your size? We die here.
Have come on, see. Come on, you won't call it.
Now who come get this bag? Now for the new series, Akpo, we go know.
Follow the Yawa way buster. Take off this bag where money full. On top the new Africa Magic Show, Akpo. Come see the long throat and Kasala way scatter ground. From 18 September, every Monday and Tuesday by 6:30 for evening. On top Africa Magic, Yoruba Channel 2. Go TV. Love it.
Ẹ káàárọ̀ nílùú Ìbàdàn. Solutions 93.9 FM.
Welcome back. It is Kiko Sports Show on your Remedy Radio Dial Solutions 93.9 FM. Well, my name is FAVOUR. of Lauren Chola. Well, there are updates that we'll be taking you through today, but let's look at a retirement story as Arsenal striker and England legend Georgia Taylor has announced her retirement from football, saying that it feels really weird to be hanging up her boots, but admits she will be looking to stay involved within the game. She's 37-year-old and brings down the curtains on the career that has spanned over 20 years, having won the Champions League with Lyon in 2019-2020 at the FA Cup with Birmingham in 2011. But she will perhaps be remembered as a key part of the trailblazing group of England players who won bronze at the 2015 World Cup. She went on to win the Golden Boot at Euro 2017. So we wish her good luck. Mustafa Taiwo, Israel Oladeni Agunbade Sheriff, shout out to you. Remember, you can join us live on Facebook at Solutions 939 FM. Solutions 939 FM. Well, let's take some updates before I go to some transfer news.
In week 7 of the English Premier League, Aston Villa will be facing Brighton, while Bournemouth will be against Arsenal. Everton will square off against Luton Town, and Manchester United will take on Crystal Palace. Newcastle United will be playing against Burnley, and West Ham United will face Sheffield United. Wolverhampton Wanderers will go head-to-head with Manchester City, and Tottenham Hotspur will have a match against Liverpool.
Week 6 of the Bundesliga promises an action-packed weekend. On Friday, fans can expect an exciting clash between Hoffenheim and Borussia Dortmund. On Saturday, FC Heidenheim will go head-to-head with Union Berlin. Bochum will face Borussia Mönchengladbach, while Köln takes on Stuttgart. Mainz will try to outplay Bayern Leverkusen. Wolfsburg will battle it out against Eintracht Frankfurt, and Freiburg will host Augsburg in a thrilling encounter. The weekend reaches its peak when RB Leipzig hosts the mighty Bayern Munich in a highly anticipated match. In Serie A Week 6, Cagliari will face off against AC Milan, while Empoli will take on Salernitana. Hellas Verona is set to clash with Atalanta, and Inter Milan will battle against Sassuolo. Lazio and Torino will go head-to-head, and Napoli host Udinese in their upcoming match. Meanwhile, Genoa will host AC Roma, Frosinone will meet Fiorentina, and Monza is prepared to welcome Bologna to the Stadio Brandtiu.
In week 7 of La Liga, Sevilla will take on Almeria, while Real Mallorca will face Barcelona. Athletic Club will play against Getafe, and Real Madrid will challenge Las Palmas, setting the stage for an intense showdown. In another thrilling encounter, Villarreal will face Girona, and Cadiz will battle Rayo Vallecano. Valencia will face Real Sociedad, and Celta Vigo will play against Deportivo Alaves. Granada will compete against Real Betis, while Osasuna hosts Atletico Madrid in a thrilling showdown.
Weekend promises to be exciting for the EPL Premier League Fantasy. If you have not done it, please go and try and adjust it and find yourself good scores. Remember, you can also be the part of the league. Solutions 939 FM. Please, it's still Kickoff Sports Show on your Remedy Radio dial. Solutions 939 FM. Now let's talk transfer news. Or some gossip in the world of football. Well, Aston Villa and kit manufacturer Castor are expected to agree to an early termination of their contract amid the furore over the club's wet look shirts that have prompted complaints from men's and women's players. Barcelona will face a bribery case in the Spanish courts over a refereeing scandal that could potentially lead to the club being banned from football at a time when their finances are at the most precarious as the new camp has been demolished. Now let's look at the fate of Barcelona in the transfer news, as their financial situation has resulted in the club largely focusing on free agents, loans and talented players who are no longer in favor at their current club. The first player on the list is Manchester United's 27-year-old winger Jadon Sancho. Also, 24-year-old the lead is the next player being considered by Barcelona. Arsenal midfielder Ajogio, 31, is also being looked at. Another man that is on the look or on the lips or they are searching for is Manchester United player that is 27-year-old Anthony Martial. Arsenal's versatile forward and midfielder Kai Havertz is not left out of that squad as well. So Barcelona might be in trouble looking for free agents. Barca fans, below. Up to spend lavishly in the transfer market. About Napoli, actually, I got a report from a friend, maybe not so true, maybe so true. It says he's ready to leave Napoli. So come January, everyone, trying to get that man, well, it's okay. But Napoli are still responding, it's okay. But Napoli are still responding. They said they did not intend to offend Victor Osimhen after appearing to mock him on a video on TikTok. So whatever it is going on, let's see. Let's see. Let's see. I gotta go. My name is Favour. Oh, Lauren, well, I want you to enjoy your weekend. Although I'm not leaving finally, because very soon we'll be my colleague will join me and we'll go on to the newspapers for the morning. Please, sport lovers, do not do what I cannot do. Remember, always stay safe and be good.
go dey follow me. Maje come with me.
Timmy J on the track.
Ẹ káàárọ̀ nílùú Ìbàdàn. Solutions 93.9 FM.
We raise the spotlight on the different headlines of our national dailies.
This government, apart from giving that minimum wage of 30,000, which was a 6% rise.
We bring to you in-depth analysis on the major stories making the rounds.
And the CSOs to INEC account for 400 billion naira spent on general elections.
Interviews with political and government stakeholders.
There was a big push on export. We consume a lot. We need to be an economy, an export engine, and we need to be a production.
Every weekday, 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. on the Remedy Dial, Solutions 93.9 FM. Welcome to From the Dailies with FAVOUR, Dapo, Laffy, and Victory. Let's talk about the state of the nation. Your voice matters.
TGIF, thank God it's Friday. Yes, indeed. 32 minutes gone past the hour of 8. You're listening to the Remedy Dial Solutions 93.9. Welcome to the last edition of From the Dailies, where we look through the front pages of our Nigerian newspapers and beam the spotlight on major stories that are doing, the numbers across all papers. Of course, my name is Victor Richard, and I'll be taking stories from the Vanguard newspaper and the Punch newspapers. Good morning to you, Favour.
Good morning. Like you said, thank God it's Friday. It's the weekend. And yes,
Indeed.
Yes, it's the weekend. Although for some people it's not the weekend though. We will.
How so?
Don't let me talk about that. My name is Favour Olorotola. I'll be taking stories from the Nation newspaper and the Nigerian Tribune this morning.
Alright, we're streaming live on Facebook as well as YouTube at Solutions 939 FM, so do well to jump in on the platform. Remember that Fridays are usually open mic sessions, so you get to react to any stories. Even if it's a story from Monday, of course, you get to react to it, especially if the story has a follow-up story to, one of the stories that made the pages this morning. Alright, so you can also send in messages via WhatsApp or regular text to 0904 422 2939. Shortly as well, the phone lines would be opened for you to call in and lend in your thoughts. The numbers for that function would be 0909 888 9939 or 0912 222 2939. Let's get right into the papers.
Okay, the first shot this morning is from the the Nation newspaper. I beg your pardon. And then we have this one: government to TUC NLC respect court order barring strike. Well, I felt that something was cooking from the federal government. Well, AGF, rights unions, Falano, DSS, IG, NSA, it's judicial terrorism, breach of right, says Labour, or counter to the headline this morning. How Southeast governors can overcome insecurity by governors, leaders, unity, economic growth, crucial. Financial reforms ready for unveiling, says Cardoso. I remember Lafi saying that Cardoso shouldn't be speaking and just letting us know his plans. We just need actions instead of words. Well, let's see, we're going to talk about that today. Now, tribunal dismisses PDP's petition in Kaduna poll. Governor, my election upheld. Obaseki, I forgive Shuaibu's aberrant behavior. Governor cautioned deputy. And finally, on the Nation newspaper this morning, I have Independence, why Nigerians should collaborate with federal government by Shatima. Of course, we'll be playing that sound for you later on.
All right, away from the Nation's newspaper, let's now move over to the Punch this morning. Starting off with academic record, Atiku asks court to overrule Tinubu's objection. Telecos plan different tariffs for calls, data in states. Now, the amount we pay for data and calls are becoming really worrisome. There's been a trend of I think 2 gig for 1.5 or something. That's been all over social media.
Is it even the trend or the fact that it's affecting everybody? Okay, look at the fact that we pay exorbitantly for transportation, and then when you do your data, you believe that it's going to last you a month. It doesn't even last you 2 days anymore, and then you are asked that to just add to it, and then you're given this message: you have 60% of your data left, or 60 point something gig or MB. I sometimes it gives me headache.
It's worrisome. I mean, I do 6,000 for 25 gig, and it doesn't even last me to maybe a week at the best.
What?
A week. That's what I use it for.
Wait, sorry.
I mean, coupled with the
is
number
it a
of
Wi-Fi or just on your phone?
data on my phone. Don't use
Victory
it's just
is
worrisome.
a rich guy.
That's not the case. I mean, we have a lot of social media these days, and that's why I get really worried that every now and then, imagine you have TikTok, you have Instagram, you have Threads, you have X, you have Facebook, you have LinkedIn, you have and we're all very functional on these platforms. I mean, if you're a media person, you just have to.
Someone would say, stop, living an exorbitant life. Cut.
It's not being an exorbitant.
No, I'm just saying that
people who make money
say,
from social media, content creators like myself, for instance, you have to be on these platforms. You upload one video on TikTok, it has to go on Instagram, it has to go on Facebook,
it has to go on YouTube,
and all these things are consuming data. So I mean, it's just the sad reality of things.
Okay.
Well, let's move away from that and talk more stories this morning. CBN will spend $3 billion loan to stabilize economy neck. And now to the biggest story on the Punch newspaper. Indefinite strike. Labour protests as federal government threatens union leaders with contempt charge. Right as to that, threats won't deter us. We are no cowards, says TUC's VP. Governors ask NLC to shelve strike. AGF says strike will be contempt of court. Umahi locks out workers. Protesters cite hardship for lateness. The governors this time are really, really proactive, locking out civil servants for coming late to work. But I think the question should be: Did you find out why they were late to work? I mean, a lot of things are happening right now. Some people are complaining of the economic downturn and how it has affected their businesses or their pockets. So could it be that these people lacked transport to come to work? If that's the case, is there a government bus, provided for civil servants to, help with their commuting to work? So I think these are questions that you want to ask, especially if you're a governor with empathy. But I'm sure he had his reasons for, locking workers from accessing the building. Ogun APC PDP confident as tribunal rules Saturday. Ocean accident, 5 Lautech students and drivers burned to death. It's a sad one. God rest their soul. Federal government targets wealthy Nigerians in new tax drive. These are the stories on the front page of the Punch newspaper this morning.
All right, from the Nigerian Tribune, Ayedatiwa APC NWC sets up 9-man committee moves to forestall impeachment. You can get that story on page 28 of the Nigerian Tribune. Obaseki accepts Shuaibu's apology, page 23. Now, NEC wants states to carry out energy audit to determine needs, begs Labour not to embark on strike, says excess crude account now $473.7 million. The bank mobilizes members for October 3 strike. No agreement with federal government to suspend strike. NLC, respect court order. Don't embark on strike. AGF urges NLC. Abiodun Adebotu no fate tomorrow as tribunal delivers judgment. Page 2. Military destroys 34 illegal refining sites. Arrest 59 suspects. Kaduna Tribunal dismisses PDP's petition. I won. Going on appeal. PDP candidate. Judgment clear. Affirmation of mandate given to me. Governor Sani, page 29. Okay, this is a very sad one. 3 Lautech students die in lone accident in Osun, 5 hospitalized. You can get this and more from the Nigerian Tribune this morning.
Alright, away from the Nigerian Tribune, let's now look over the last paper that we have this morning, which is the Vanguard newspaper. Starting off with business, inflation, manufacturers' unsold goods up to 45.4% to 272 billion naira. To err is human, to forgive is divine, says Obaseki as he accepts Shuaibu's apology. Tribunal, Northern governors and Northern youth warns against interference in Kanu politics. 63rd Independence Anniversary, federal government declares Monday, October the 2nd, public holiday. Still on Independence lecture, your sacrifices won't be in vain, Shatima tells Nigerians. And now to the biggest story in the Vanguard newspaper. Why you cannot go on strike, FG tells NLC TUC. Mobad, I had no hands in singer's debt, Naira Marley. Live well, be happy, death calls on us daily. Reflection on human flourishing in Nigeria. This is coming from Professor Laguda. Economic and Security Summit. Southeast governors, leaders resolve to end insecurity. INEC laments as 241,715 Bayelsa Kogi Imo voters shuns PVCs. Burkina Faso detains 4 officers after failed coup. And now to the last story, which is in sport. Pesaro drops Sanusi Bassi from Eagles squad. These are the stories that made the front page of the Vanguard newspaper. And with that, we've come to an end to the newspaper headlines this morning. Right now, we're moving over to the burning issue as we look over some major stories and beam the spotlight with analysis from our analysts and, of course, receiving feedbacks from you. Stay tuned.
All right. On the Nation newspaper this morning, it was said that Vice President Kashim Shettima has assured Nigerians that their sacrifices would not be in vain. This was a statement by a media aide to the Vice President Stanley Kwacha, that he made the remarks yesterday at a public lecture to commemorate the 63rd Loki Independence Anniversary at the State House banquet hall. This is what is sad.
Today we gather to honor Nigeria's journey to redefine its destiny. A nation that has become the metaphor of resilience. Over the past 63 years, we have not only survived, but thrived because of our collective resolve, despite the conspiracies of minor vested interests. And President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has undertaken to build a country where the economic independence of each citizen is guaranteed. We recognize that what has sustained us and propelled us forward is our collective belief that overcoming the challenges we have inherited necessitates sacrifices, especially from us, the leaders. We are driven by the realization that these sacrifices are not for naught. They are investments in a brighter future. Investments that will redeem the fortune of our great generation and guarantee the well-being of generations to come. The present administration also recognizes that the sacrifices made by each Nigerian will never be in vain. Such solidarity with our economic revival strategy, from the bustling streets of Lagos to the serene landscape of Enugu, has inspired our focus on diverse sectors. So our history has shown Nigerians are too ambitious to be broken by a temporary setback. We are going to emerge from this phase of our reform stronger, each of us with renewed hope.
We raise the spotlight on the different headlines of our national dailies.
This government, apart from giving that minimum wage of 30,000, which was a 6% rise.
We bring to you in-depth analysis on the major stories making the rounds.
And the CSOs to INEC account for 400 billion naira spent on general elections.
Interviews with political and government stakeholders.
There was a big push on export. We consume a lot. We need to be an economy, that an export engine, and we need to be a production.
Every weekday, 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. on the Remedy Dial, Solutions 93.9 FM. Welcome to From the Dailies with FAVOUR, Dapo, Laffy, and Victory. Let's talk about the state of the nation. Your voice matters.
Ẹ káàárọ̀ nílùú Ìbàdàn. Solutions 93.9 FM.
Alright, welcome back. You're still listening to From the Dailies right here on the Remedy Dial Solutions 93.9. My name is Victor Richard and I'm with FAVOUR this morning, and we are looking through the front pages of the papers. Of course, we've given you the headlines, and right now we want to place our focus on some burning issues. Before we came back, we played an insert for you by, of course, a spokesperson to Vice President Shatima. I'm talking about Stanley, and he spoke about the preparation for the 63rd Independence Anniversary. You would recall that a couple of days ago we also heard from the presidency that the 63rd Independence Anniversary would be on a low key, and this is because Nigeria needs to focus on its own committee of nation, its own committee rather, and not inviting other committees of nations to be a part of the celebration. As we heard from the presidency, no invitation, was sent, and it brought about a conversation on if the country is deserving to be celebrated. What is there to be celebrated? Is it the inflation of our economy right now? Or is it, dollar hitting 1,000 naira plus? Is it the insecurity that we are being bedeviled with? Is it our democracy? What is there to celebrate? I think that's the question pondering the minds of Nigerians this morning. We also saw on the Vanguard newspaper, where the Vice President, Kashim Shettima, did say that your sacrifice won't be in vain, is telling Nigerians. And I think the sacrifices majorly will be coming out to vote during the February
Are you sure
presidential
that's a
election.
sacrifice?
It should be one of it. I'm saying one of it.
Okay.
And also what we had to deal with during, the cash issue, of course. When we were out of cash, that one of the major sufferings that Nigerians have ever had to deal with in this country, and a couple of other issues that we're currently faced with.
It's interesting how we can all smile and joke about the matter that occurred prior to the election, February. I mean, the cash crunch, the way no one had access to cash, it's something that took a lot of lives actually, but we just say we're grateful for that. If you say that is one of the sufferings, then President Bola Ahmed Tinubu had not being sworn in as president. He had not even been elected then. Probably is talking about the removal of fuel subsidy. How Nigerians have been coping so far, since the swearing in of the president, since the statement was made, the way it's been fluctuating, going up, the price of, someone was complaining a few days ago about a bag of rice for the 7,000 to 50,000. And how much do you now get a Congo? If you have for the 7,000 to 50,000, to get pepper is very, very, very expensive. You want to have some seasoning to your food. Now, if you now say that there is a huge household that, needs to feed, 5,000 naira cannot actually feed a household at the moment. So probably that is what he's talking about. The economy, although there are some reforms that has been made, we have a new CBN governor. Of course, we'll talk about him, who has been talking about how to revive the economy and the likes. I still wonder, because that statement is somewhat ambiguous. It's not straight to the point. What is the sacrifice Kashim Shettima is referring to?
Well, I don't think you're specific to that. You just mentioned a very pivotal point, which is, the fuel subsidy that has dealt with a number of us. Right now, we're not even so sure, because a couple of days ago we saw headlines about a possibility of the federal government still paying for subsidy. And we've been told for a period of time since the announcement during the president's inaugural speech that subsidy has been removed. And we saw that there's a speculation that fuel price might get up to 900. Nigerians are already having so much dealing with paying for 500, 600 naira per liter, and you're talking about 900. It's ridiculous, to be honest. So these are some of the sacrifices, I think, from the cash crunch to coming out during the election to vote, and up until the economic inflation that we're seeing right now, bags of rice, the number of things that we're dealing with are enormous. You can't even point a finger to just one. So he's assuring us that the sacrifice will not be in vain. But I think that Nigerians are really tired of, word of mouth. They want to see action. They want to see that your words are replicated to action. They want to see change, not just promising us change. We want to see these change happen in our economy. We want to see this change happen in the security architecture of the nation. We want to see this change happen with the price of fuel either coming down or a better way of paying for these things. We want to see this change in the cost of governance, which has become a conversation we must have if we want to have a better economy. So these are the clarion call the Nigerians are making.
Now, speaking of this clarion call, it brings me to the NLC strike that has been proposed. And then we have the 63rd Independence coming up October 1st, and the proposed strike is October 3. I think that by the time the president, because we all know that our president is very vast and fluent in delivering speeches, I think that by the time we get his word concerning the strike, concerning how to revive the economy come October 1, probably this talk about strike will just stop. And the cogent reason, or the cogent point this morning, is the federal government talking to the NLC saying that they should respect the court order. Remember that this order had been given right before President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, was sworn in as president of Nigeria, and it's like barring strike action in Nigeria. Now that leads me to the question that what has the NLC been doing? Playing ball, playing with our emotions, playing with words, just to give false hope to us. I mean, when probably they knew that the outcome was going to be the federal government, issuing that statement as saying they should uphold the strike arm of this court order on strike action.
Yeah, I get that the NLC is fighting a good cause, even though their cause has been questioned by a lot of Nigerians, if they're actually fighting for Nigerians or fighting for their interests. It's been a conversation that's been going on, but we'll leave that for another day. The NLC, the federal government is saying to the NLC that they should, shelve the strike as it will be a contempt of court, is another angle we must definitely look at, because, it's really sad that the words of the judiciary is not being upheld by even the powers that be right now. We've had several cases. Should we talk about the CBN's case? Should we talk about Nnamdi Kanu? Should we talk about the tribunal? There's been a lot of cases where, the order of the court was not upheld, was disobeyed. And we always see stories about the faulter will be charged with contempt of court. But that's where it ends. It ends at just stories. And that's why you see that the NLC will come out to tell the federal government that they are not cowards, that charging them with contempt will not stop them from going on strike. Like you've said, I think that with the president's address on the 1st of October, yes, there might be a resolve, or they might reach a compromise with whatever the president has to say. Because I would think that with the current pressure on the federal government by the NLC, they might want to consider their demands right now and make sure that part of his address would be all the demands coming from the NLC. According to the federal government, it was due to the willingness of the union to enter a negotiation over the issue that it was persuaded to withdraw the contempt proceedings that it initially instituted against them. But with them furthering with that, the federal government are now threatening to go ahead with pursuing the contempt charge. So let's hope that the NLC and the federal government reach a resolve, because I think it's becoming we're becoming to sound, or we're rather turning out to sound like a broken record. Every now and then there's a story about the NLC and the federal government. It just shows that there's no synergy between the two parties, reaching a resolve on what they're deciding. And like I said, the NLC should really check their motive. Are they really fighting a good cause for Nigerians, or they're fighting for their own benefit? That's another question for another day. But we'll leave it at that. Another story we want to look at this morning is coming from INEC, of course. INEC is saying 241,715 Bayelsa, Kogi, and Imo voters have shunned their PVCs. Now, we saw what happened during the February election, the February 25th election, and for lack of a better way of saying this, the integrity of INEC was questioned by Nigerians due to the outcome of the election. Even though the tribunal has upheld, the election that brought in, President Bola Tinubu, Nigerians seemed, unsatisfied with the outcome. And when I was going over some comments by Nigerians on social media, I saw that the reason for this, or the reason why they're shunning, their PVCs in Bayelsa and Imo State as they plan towards their governorship election, is because there's been a distrust on how INEC would go about the election. Now, I think the question would be, what is INEC planning to do differently as Kogi, Bayelsa, and Imo State plan towards their governorship election? Because if there is an opportunity to redeem, their integrity or their trust, in Nigerians or from Nigerians, this is the time. What are they doing right? Would the Beavers walk this time? Would it be used?
Will it transmit results?
Yes.
Like it's been said.
Will the elections be transparent? Are we going to have a replication of where results have not been collated from different local government, yet a winner has been announced, as we saw in one of the states in the north? What is INEC planning on doing differently? Because over 200,000 shunning to collect their PVCs is worrisome. It means that Nigerians don't have, some strong belief in the body. So these are questions that the body INEC wants to really table and ask themselves. It's something that they must consider.
Very soon we'll be connecting with our analyst. Remember, you can be part of the program this morning by writing these numbers and calling into the studio. Remember, it's a open session. 0909 88 89 939 and 0912 22 22 939. 0909 88 89 939 and 0912 22 22939. You can also leave your comments on Facebook at Solutions 939 FM. We've raised these cogent issues. It's time to discuss them.
Ibadan, are you ready for the most amazing Kiddies birthday hangout of 2023?
We raise the spotlight on the different headlines of our national dailies.
This government, apart from giving that minimum wage of 30,000, which was a 6% rise.
We bring to you in-depth analysis on the major stories making the rounds.
And the CSOs to INEC account for 400 billion naira spent on general elections.
Interviews with political and government stakeholders.
There was a big push on export. We consume a lot. We need to be an economy that an export engine, and we need to be a production.
Every weekday, 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. on the Remedy Dial, Solutions 93.9 FM. Welcome to From the Dailies with FAVOUR, Dapo, Laffy and Victory. Let's talk about the state of the nation. Your voice matters.
Ẹ káàárọ̀ nílùú Ìbàdàn. Solutions 93.9 FM.
Ibadan, are you ready for the most amazing Kiddies birthday hangout of 2023? Get ready to shine in your dazzling green and white outfits as we come together to dance, play games, serve a delicious treats, and celebrate Nigeria's independence in the most spectacular way. But here is the kicker: we've got fantastic prizes waiting just for you. Date 1st of October 2023. Time is 1 p.m. and the venue is Paris Bakery, Ring Road. To get your invite and for more inquiries, call 0915 182 0199. Remember, the October birthday hangout is strictly by invitation. The National Kiddies Birthday Hangout is proudly brought to you by Solutions 939 and Paris Bakery. Let the kids breathe.
Ẹ káàárọ̀ nílùú Ìbàdàn. Solutions 93.9 FM.
right, you're still listening to the Remedy Dial Solutions 93.9, 4 minutes come past the hour of 9. Of course, this is from the Dailies. My name is Victory. Richard and Favor is with me in the studio. And right now we have our analysts joining us virtually for analysis on the stories that made the front pages this morning. We're glad to have you join us this morning. Comrade Ayodeji, good morning to you, sir.
Brother and sister, good morning.
Good morning. Thank God it's Friday.
Oh, yes, thank God it's Friday.
Well, indeed. Let's get right into the major stories that we are addressing this morning. I'll start off with election. I'm sure you're quite aware that Kogi, Imo, and Bayelsa are planning towards their forthcoming governorship election. And there's a story on the papers this morning saying, residents of the state or voters, over 200,000 shunned collecting their PVCs, and INEC is making that call. Well, I went over social media to see why, from a couple of Nigerians who passed a comment, on that particular story, and it was a case of them not believing in the integrity or questioning the integrity of the body, the electoral body, INEC. Why do you think this is the case?
You see, the issue of electing or not collecting the voter's card, it goes beyond the integrity of the election. Democracy, we tend to think in this country, is about going to cast your vote on election day. No, democracy is not just elections, it's a process. Those who you are going to vote for on election day, there was a recruitment process. Who took part? What percentage of the voters? What kind of people take part in the processes? And what kind of people populate those parties? And I should ask you, have you ever been a registered member of a political party or even a follower of a political party? But the bigger question to that is, do we have political parties? Just a while ago, I was in a conversation with a political scientist, and he told me that what we seem to have now are, rather than being political parties, that they are special purpose vehicles to grab power by the elite, not just the political elite across the board, the business elite, the military elite, the political elite, the academic elite, and everybody. They're just special purpose vehicles. So we tend to think, and that is a result of lack of political socialization, that people think democracy is all about elections. No, it is beyond that. Even after you have done your voting, what do? You elect legislators, you elect a member, the executive branch. Are you following up on them? What is the... Usually during the election, some of those interviews that were conducted, I kept asking those who are running for the National Assembly or the State Assembly, what is your legislative agenda? You're going to the National Assembly. What are you going to be there to do? You say you're going to represent me. Where is your agenda? We don't ask. And we never follow up on them that this was the agenda you drew up. This was the agenda you gave us. How far are you gone with the agenda? They will come back and start distributing refrigerators, distributing Okada, and distributing hair dryers. So we have to get involved. People have to get involved. Go and populate the party. Let me tell you, in 1998-99, I joined the political party. I joined the political party. When we were at the meeting, youths were mobilized to the party. And then we were supposed to have a meeting, and decisions was to be taken about who was going to be our local government chairman. And then I think it was around 5:30. Then one girl stood up and said, let's start the party meeting. And the party chairman, one elderly man, even in his 70s, said, and I'm going to say what he said in Yoruba, he said, meaning that the owners of the party were not yet in attendance, therefore the party meeting will not go ahead. And then the girl stood up again and said, no, we are the owners of this party. You are not the owners of the party, and we are going to show you. And when they chose a candidate that was not acceptable to them, They left the party, and the party lost the election. That is participation. You understand? It is not on election day that you are going to say, this I'm going to vote for, this who I'm not going to vote for. You have to ensure you take part in the process, or else nothing is going to change in this country. It's as straightforward as that.
We must exercise our civic responsibility. I think that's a message that our comrade is passing out to Nigerians this morning. One of the biggest story, of course, this morning is the NLC and the TUC and, of course, the federal government. We're beginning to sound like a broken record with these three parties always being on the front page of the paper.
It's quite amazing that the private sector, the organized private sector, is not on the news this morning as well.
So they are proposing a strike for the 3rd of October after independence, and the federal government is saying they cannot go on strike because that will be contempt of court. And of course, it's bordering on the matter of fuel subsidy, which of course is dealing with a lot of us. You know, it's been speculated. We saw it in the papers a couple of days ago that it's possible that fuel subsidy has continued, or they've been paying for subsidy as it were, and there might be a spike in the price of fuel. With this back and forth between the NLC, the TUC and the federal government, do you think that with the president's speech during the independence anniversary, the 63rd, do you think that would change anything, or perhaps the NLC might consider shelving the strike?
What is the objective declared for going on strike? Subsidy, wage increment, and sundry issues that the president is not responding. You see, the federal committee, even before Buhari left, what is the, and then they have set up their committee. What is the outcome of those committee meetings and reports? NLC and TUC says they don't have any report. They gave 1 8 weeks since June, the whole of June, the whole of July, the whole of August. No report. But trust me, on October 1, Bola Tinubu, Nigeria's president, will deliver a rousing speech. He is a dreamer. He is a product of resistance to the military. He is an Adeko man. He has been governed. He is a political gladiator. You have seen him do it. He would deliver a rousing, inspiring speech and then make promises. But is it about promises now? Elections are over. Campaigns are over. It is time to deliver. Are they delivering? Yes, you may say it is just 3 months. But he didn't wait 1 hour on the date of his inauguration. He removed subsidy. So the people too are not waiting. They say, if you can do that, then that means you have a plan. Let's have it. Let's just have it. That's what Nigerians are asking. And I don't think it is unfair. If consumer price index has gone 25%, inflation is doing what it is doing, and Nigeria Bureau of Statistics is telling us that unemployment rate has dropped to 4.1% from 33%. Nigerians are confused. But, and even the palliative that was promised, 5 billion per state, 2 was released. What happened to the rest? Even if they say it is a grant or lending that they will take back. Let Nigerians see, feel, have what the plans are, and then they can weigh the options. That speech on 4th of October, the Nigerian Congress that we have had, I would not be surprised if they do not embark on this side.
Okay,
I would not be surprised
if they do not embark on that aspect. Speaking of inspirational speeches and rousing speeches, there is this statement that was credited to Kashim Shettima, and I begged and asked the question, I mean, what sacrifice is the Vice President referring to? In a statement by the media aide, Stanley Ukwocha, for Kashim Shatima. He said that Nigerians' sacrifices will not be in vain. And I remember saying that this statement is quite ambiguous. What sacrifices is the vice president referring to? And by October 1, with this local independence, are we going to get this result, like you say, or probably with the speeches that we made that day?
The vice president delivered that speech yesterday at a lecture that was organized to celebrate the independence.
Yes.
Sacrifice. This one is getting out of sacrifice to people are, like the word is, people are in pain. Nigerians are in pain. And they need relief, not palliative. They need relief. And things have to be put in place. And governance is not so much of rocket science, but is there commitment on the leadership side, either they are the executive or the legislative branch, and even the bureaucracy that runs governance. Because a small number of politicians are there. The huge numbers that run government are in the bureaucracy. Are they thinking Nigeria, or are they thinking themselves, or are they thinking their ethnic nationality, or are they just thinking their own family? I am in serious doubt, except probably for a few that are in leadership positions that are thinking Nigeria. And if you are thinking Nigeria, and you are surrounded by people that are not thinking Nigeria, God help that leader. I hope and I pray that these sacrifices, because I think it is beyond sacrifices now, will not be in vain. Will not be in vain. I hope so. I pray so. But beyond hoping and praying. Even the scripture says, walk and pray. It didn't even say pray and walk. Walk and pray.
Right. Oh, well, thank you, comrade, for being a part of the conversation this morning. We do appreciate your in-depth analysis on these major stories.
Thank you very much. Do have a splendid weekend.
And you too.
And beautiful October 1 celebration.
Oh.
Nigeria, October 1 is Sunday, and then they put public holiday on Monday. What kind of a people are we?
But you know, it's always been happening.
Always been happening.
Anytime the public holiday falls on a weekend, they move it over to
actually,
the working day.
I was expecting 2 days for the holiday.
That tells you something about who we are.
Absolutely. Tells
fun,
a lot.
Fun-loving people.
Yeah, it tells a lot.
No, normally when you want to have a public holiday after a very major event, if it falls on a Saturday or Sunday, you have 2 days break in between. So it's just a day. I think it's getting better, sir.
It's not getting.
I hope so.
Thank you, comrade.
Enjoy your weekend.
All right.
Thank you very much. On
you.
a more serious note, it's different now because you have
You
just
don't move it to a walk. I saw that and I was. Anyway, we got some bills to pay this morning. When we return, we'll take your calls regarding these stories we've analyzed this morning. Of course, to be a part of the conversation, the numbers to call in would be 0909 888 9939 or 0912 222 2939. The pondering questions this morning would be, as we plan towards the 63rd anniversary, do you think that there's something worth celebrating? You want to ask yourself that, and we want to hear from you. Do you think there's something we should celebrate? The NLC's strike and TUC, what's your thought on that? The back and forth we've seen thoughts far, and other stories, of course, we've raised this morning. Just stay with us.
Omo, our eye don't see way for this cash palava. As conductor dey shout,
as you enter, so enter with your change.
market women go dey holla.
I beg, this money don't I no fit collect now.
Supermarket people go dey tell you say,
okay, we don't get change. I beg, use and take sweet now.
when you come see that better yama roasted fish wey don dey hungry you since in come.
I no carry my wallet come out too.
See, life not suppose hard like this, so now make all of us for Nigeria they pay for everything with Momo. Dial star 671 hash or download the new Momo app. Make you follow enjoy this better life. Momo, better than cash.
One day, na so bag with plenty money just appear for inside one Olanrewaju compound. 2 seconds, everywhere boss.
Let me get a bag. Me nobody see my radar.
Hey.
Na me face yam. Me cannot see you near
You say waiting. As the landlord of this yard, so na me be the rightful owner of that
Hey,
bag.
Oga landlord, what could not find your size? We die here.
I dey comot it.
Come on.
You won't collect.
Hey!
Now who come get this bag? Now for the new series, Akpo, we go know.
Follow the yawa way buster. Sake of this bag where money full. On top the new Africa Magic Show, Akpo. Come see the long throat and Kasala way scatter ground. From 18th September, every Monday and Tuesday by 6:30 for evening. On top Africa Magic, Yoruba Channel 2. Go TV. Love it.
Ibadan, are you ready for the most amazing Kitty's birthday hangout of 2023? Get ready to shine in your dazzling green and white outfits as we come together to dance, play games, serve a delicious treat, and celebrate Nigeria's independence in the most spectacular way. But here is the kicker, we've got fantastic prizes waiting just for you. Date 1st of October 2023. Time is 1 p.m. and the venue is Paris Bakery, Ring Road. To get your invite and for more inquiries, call 0915 182 0199. Remember, the October birthday hangout is strictly by invitation. The National Kiddies Birthday Hangout is proudly brought to you by Solutions 939 and Paris Bakery. Let the kids breathe.
It's still AM update right here on your Remedy Radio dial, Solutions 93.9 FM. At this point, it's time to get your comment on the issues raised today. First off, we spoke about the, elections and the fact that a lot of people refused to go take their PVCs. I mean, what is the fate? I mean, is it that the people are not having faith in INEC anymore? We spoke about the Independence Day and the achievements we're celebrating for the 63rd anniversary. Remember, 0909 88 89 939 and 0912 22 22 939, 0909 88 89 939, 0912 22 22 939. And you can also drop your comments on X at Solutions 939 FM, Facebook Solutions 939 FM. We'll take some of your comments now.
All right, we'll be taking some comments on X whilst we anticipate your calls and reaction to these major stories. Like I said earlier, a question we must ask ourselves is, at this point, is there something we should be celebrating as Nigerians as we plan towards the 63rd independence? And a couple of persons have reacted on Twitter regarding that. But we'll start off with the NLC. I have a couple of messages this morning that I would be taking, starting off with a message from Tayo. And he says, I don't think we need strike anymore in this country. What we need is childbirth strike. Let's suspend childbirths generally and see if the government and the world will not intervene in our poverty crisis. I'm not sure I understand your submission.
I'm trying to really understand that solution, actually. Okay, wait, let's bring this. Okay, we stop or we decide not to, we just get married and the newly married couples decide not to have babies.
No, he's saying that they should put a birth control, just like China did a couple of years ago, rather.
No, the question here is that what is contributing to our economic crisis? We have, yes, we have a large population, but we have the resources. The thing is, how are these resources being utilized? That should be the question.
Mohammed is saying, what is more baffling is the holier than thou attitude that the NLC and its affiliate are adopting. Nigeria belongs to all of us, but I wonder what percent of Nigerians they represent. Anytime they go on strike, it's the common man rather that suffer, not the government. All right, another comment here says, okay, is NLC wrong to demand or enforce a better wage for workers from the hardship foisted by a thoughtless government policy? Must everything be about politics? I think this is becoming an obsession. Federal government has failed to meaningfully engage the labor since it promised in June. Yakub says, this is Nigeria where anything goes. See the half-baked. Okay, I'll leave that at that.
All right, there's this comment right here on the Independence as well, and it's coming from at DJ_QE_B. Everywhere independence this, independence that. Me, I need independence from Nigeria. All right, we also have this comment from, this is true though, because schools today are doing their cultural day, celebrate Nigeria's Independence Day. And yes, you see how colorful it is. We might say that there is nothing that we want to celebrate concerning Nigeria's independence, but these children should also learn to appreciate what those that fought for us did earlier.
All right, we're still taking more comments this morning on X. This is a comment from Nasser, and he says the NLC better define what it's fighting for and what it's represent. Just like you said, are they after the interest of Nigerians or after their stomach? We need to know if their course is for the benefit of Nigerians in general. Another comment here is, I don't think that the federal government have removed subsidy. We have seen stories about them still paying for subsidy and how we might experience an increase in the pump price. So the question is, why are Nigerians suffering? We need to do better for the people of this nation. We deserve good governance and democracy. Hence, I'm asking again, should the 63rd anniversary be celebrated or not? All right. Another comment here regarding Umahi's case says, the weaker-like politicians who believe that governance is by intimidation and muscle flexing. A simple matter would have been to approach them with a meeting and find out why they were late to work instead of locking them outside the building. These days, the kind of governance we have makes me wonder if we really practice democracy in our nation. Another comment here from Chika says, one thing I know is presidents, governors, senators, commissioners, ministers are nobody without the people. You have power because the people gave it to you. Another comment here regarding that says, the problem is that we misapply logic for emotional quotient. In some cases, and vice versa, many civil servants feel way too entitled. Just imagine their SQs all boomed out of emotional intelligence when logically they are late. Your comment is confusing me. I'm sorry. Let's take this last comment here, and this is from Mohammed, and he says protesting workers in the Ministry of Works have locked themselves out of the gate, as said by David Umahi. The workers accused him of high-handedness, adding that the minister prevented workers from coming late to work. The question is, what are they not doing right, and what should the government do right? This is a comment from Mohammed. All right, with that, it's a wrap this morning. We must say thank you for sending in your comments regarding the state of the nation. We just have to hope for a better Nigeria. as we celebrate the 63rd anniversary of Nigeria's independence. I know you want to question if we're really, independent, but it is what it is. Constitutionally, we are, and we need to keep our hopes high and believe that someday it will get better. I know someday sounds cliche because it's becoming a chorus for all of us that one day it's gonna get better. The question is, when would it be? But it won't change our confession, as we'll continue to say that it's definitely going to get better with a matter of time.
Well, it definitely will get better. Thank you very much for joining us today. I want to say have a blissful and wonderful weekend. We should all keep praying for Nigeria because it will get better. My name is Favor Olorontola.
And my name is Victory Richard Igobeta.
Petula, waiting happen. I tell you something, they laugh.
Make I no laugh. Now the thing when you tell me they make me laugh if you don't know. Say you want cut. I don't die. This a lie. People they hustle, they wrong go America. Our future leader they clear from Africa. Waiting be this continental confusion. People they blame the government of a nation. I want to know the price of democracy.